What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are back with another monthly Q&A, this one being the Q&A for August 2021. Now, as always in these Q&As, I have to give a massive shout out to Ben Solo, Alice, Walker, Simon and Bear, who are the Patreons at the Lieutenant or above levels, and a massive thank you to all of my other patrons and channel members as well. You guys help out so much more than you probably know, so I definitely appreciate all the support. Now, like I always say in these Q&As as well, if you are a patron, you will obviously get, priority to answer the questions. So we've got 3 Patreon questions today, and then we have got 3 questions from the Discord as well. So if you're interested in getting, guaranteed answers to your questions, then consider becoming a patron. There is a link down in the description. Or if you're not interested in that and you just want to ask a regular question, then head over to the Discord, which is also linked down below. And every month I open a Q&A channel in there. So obviously can't guarantee that I'm going to answer all of those questions, but that is also probably the easier way to do it. But anyway, guys, with that out of the way, let's get stuck into the questions for August. So the first Patreon question we have here is from my man Simon, and he says, what do you think happened to the Zillow Beast and the doctor tasked to clone it? That's actually a really good question. If you guys don't know what Simon's talking about, he's talking about an arc in the Clone Wars, and the Zillow Beast is this huge creature that there was pretty much a whole arc about them trying to destroy it and kill it, because it was essentially rampaging through the whole planet and just killing a bunch of people. So what I think happened to the Zillow Beast and the doctor asked to clone it, I'm pretty sure the Zillow Beast took a big old L and died, but I know what you mean. The one that they're cloning, essentially, I think is what the question asks. I gotta assume that it was just unsuccessful, because I feel like because for those who don't know, Palpatine, essentially they killed it, and then Palpatine said don't get rid of it or anything, we want to clone it. And so obviously he had some pretty, disastrous things planned with the Zillow Beast. If he had his hands on a Zillow Beast, that would be pretty scary for everyone else. But because of that, I've kind of got to assume that it was just unsuccessful, maybe because the Zillow Beast was dead when they tried to clone it. It didn't work or something, I'm not too sure, because I feel like if Palpatine had Zillow Beast just kind of chilling, at the ready, I'm fairly sure he would have used it, because they're obviously just borderline unstoppable. It takes, we saw how many people it takes to take one out, so I'm going to assume that it just didn't work. I'm not too sure what happened to the doctor who was tasked to clone it, but my assumption is that, it just was unsuccessful or something, because I feel like we would have seen that at some point. Palpatine starts, losing a battle or something, and he just pulls out the old Zillow Beast. So I've got to assume that it unfortunately was just unsuccessful. The next question we have is from Alice, and he says, who do you think will be the next major character death? That's a very good question. Now keep in mind, when you guys are watching this, the Bad Batch season finale would have happened. It's happening tomorrow as I'm recording this, so it hasn't happened yet for me, but you guys will have seen it by then. I have a bad feeling that someone will die in that. That show has been fairly dark at times, even though it's an animated show. Most people kind of assume it's for kids, but it's been dark, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if one of the Bad Batch members dies. I'm not sure who I would assume. Maybe Echo, I'm not really sure, but I've kind of thought the whole way through that one of them will probably end up dying or something. It could be Crosshair even, we don't really know what's going to happen there. And again, you guys will have seen by now, so you're probably just laughing at me what an idiot. He obviously is clueless, but yeah, I think if I had to guess, I would probably say one of the Bad Batch members. I don't know if they're necessarily major characters, because it's one season of a show so far. It's not like they're Luke or Han or Leia or someone, but I'd probably consider them major characters, and yeah, I feel like one of those will die. I'm not too sure. Probably Echo would unfortunately be my guess. But outside of that, in terms of genuinely, pretty much main characters of Star Wars, I don't want to say, but I feel like Ahsoka will die eventually. I'm not too sure, or maybe she even has. Obviously, she was in Rise of Skywalker as a Force ghost or a Force voice, whatever it was, if she wasn't dead. She's kind of getting old by the time that the Ahsoka show is going to be out and stuff, and the fact that we don't see her really in the sequels other than when everyone else is talking and they're all dead, that kind of makes it feel like she's dead. So I feel Ahsoka probably might die in maybe the end of her show or something. I'm not really sure. I don't want to kind of get ahead of myself, because she probably could have died a few times at this point, and Filoni obviously wants to keep her alive. So I'm not too sure if that'll happen, but yeah, I'd definitely say either one of the Bad Batch members, or maybe even Ahsoka, which definitely would be pretty sad to see. Now, the next question, which actually kind of follows on from that a little bit, is from Doug, and he says, what would the Phantom be called if we see the Ghost Squadron in live action? Asking for a friend, and that friend is Bob. That's an inside joke. Most of you watching will be like, what the hell is he talking about? That's just an inside joke in the Discord. My vote is the Phantom would be called the Magpie. So yeah, all of you right now watching are like, what the fuck are you talking about? But hopefully that answers Doug's question. But he follows that up by saying, seriously though, would you like to see all of the Phoenix Squadron in the Ahsoka show, or maybe just one or two, something in between? That's a good question. I think we definitely will see a couple. I don't know if you... I was going to say Ahsoka, obviously, but like I don't know if you really count her as Phoenix Squadron, but I guess she kind of is. But like obviously Ahsoka's going to be in it. With Ahsoka, I assume Sabine will be there as well. That just makes sense. Literally just this morning as I'm recording this, the boys were sharing in the Discord that, or it might have been yesterday, but they were talking about the sort of rumors that someone is getting cast as Sabine. So yeah, I think Ahsoka and Sabine kind of go hand in hand in that storyline. The last time we've really seen Ahsoka is obviously her and Sabine are teaming up, and then we saw her in Mando, and she's obviously still looking for Thrawn. So I think it's almost certain that Sabine will be there, and then I also think like you kind of like Ezra surely has to be there as well with Thrawn or whatever's going on there. I'm pretty sure they're just hunting for Thrawn to pretty much get Ezra. So I think Sabine and Ezra are almost guaranteed. I'd literally put the house on it that those two will probably be in there, and there's obviously been rumors that they're getting cast as well. We obviously won't be seeing Kanan because RIP. And then in terms of Hera and Chopper, I'm not too sure about that. I feel like it's a good chance. I don't know if we will. In terms of, I guess the question was more, would you like to see, not will we see? If they can fit Hera and Chopper, and I guess Zeb as well. I don't think we'll see Zeb, to be honest, so there's probably just a straight no from me there. But in terms of Hera and Chopper, if they can fit them into the story, I'd be fine to see them, but I don't need to see those two, really. The only way I can really see them sort of fitting into the story is they want to, you know, go after Ezra and stuff as well. But obviously, Hera has the good looker in Jason, so I don't know if she's about that life anymore. She might just be sort of off doing her own thing. So yeah, I don't know if we'll get Hera and Chopper, and I don't think we'd see Zeb. I think he's a bit too hard to do in live action, and it just, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't really suit the show that much. But yeah, I'm pretty much certain that we'll see Ezra and Sabine, and they're probably the only two that I want. I'd gladly take any of the others, but I don't think they're really necessary to the story. Now, moving on to the Discord questions. The first one we have here is from Alpha Dog Gaming, and he says, what Star Wars show are you most excited for? That is a tough one because we've actually been talking about the Ahsoka show a lot, and obviously just in this video it's come up multiple times already now, but we've been talking about it a lot in the Discord, and the fact that like Thrawn is almost certainly going to be in it. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's guaranteed due to those like essentially, well, I don't even know if they're rumors anymore. They're pretty much confirmed that he has been cast. And so yeah, we've been talking about that a lot lately, and the fact that Thrawn will be in it is a big thing for me. So Ahsoka's definitely up there, but I think for me personally, the Kenobi show is still number one. Only just. I think Ahsoka probably has more like potential to it and more potential for the story. We don't really need Kenobi. Like, we kind of know what roughly happens in that timeline, whereas the Ahsoka show is kind of going to continue Star Wars a little bit more in that period that we don't really know of just yet, and we don't know what happens. Like, we know what happens with Kenobi, but we don't know what happens with Ezra and stuff yet. So I think the Ahsoka show is, I guess, more important, really. It's like actually tying up loose ends, whereas Kenobi's more a little bit of like fan service, and you know, it's filling in that time period that we still don't know heaps about, but it's a bit more filled in than the sort of period after the original trilogy. And yeah, I don't think it's at all like a necessary story to tell, but I'm really, really excited for it. Kenobi's one of my favorite characters, and so I think Kenobi comes first for me. The fact that we're going to see Ewan playing as Obi-Wan again, and we're going to see Hayden as Vader, that to me, like, I grew up with the prequels, so that to me is just like an instant sell. That's all I need to know. I don't care what the show's about, to be honest. And yeah, I think it has a lot of potential. I think a lot of people aren't really expecting that much from it, because it is, you know, like I said, it's in a time period that we don't really need to know about. But I think they'll surprise us, and I think there's going to be a lot of awesome stuff in there. So for me, it would be definitely Kenobi, with a very, very close number 2 being Ahsoka. The next question comes from Gavin, and he says, overall thoughts on the first season of The Bad Batch and favourite moments. Like I said, the finale hasn't happened just yet for me, but it will be by the time you guys have seen this. But yeah, even excluding the finale, the season has been absolutely unreal. There's really only been maybe like 2 episodes that I haven't loved, and even then I would say I liked them, I just didn't love them. But that's probably mostly due to the fact that the others were so good that comparing those episodes, they just didn't seem as good. But the rest have been like some of the best Star Wars in that time frame, I reckon. And I don't want to compare them just yet, because it's just, you know, it's only one season. But in terms of the first season, I think it's the best first season of an animated show that we've seen in Star Wars. Not going to say Bad Batch is better than the Clone Wars or better than Rebels, because we just don't know yet. But yeah, comparing all of their first seasons, this to me is easily number one. And hopefully it does have that trend of, you know, they always kind of start slow in the first season and then they get better and better. That kind of happened with the Clone Wars and Rebels. And apologies to Resistance fans out there, I haven't seen that, so I can't really judge on that. But yeah, with Rebels and the Clone Wars, they both just kind of got better and better as it went. So if that is the case with the Bad Batch, after how good this season's been, I think following seasons could be even better. As for favourite moments, I think the favourite moments for me are just all the moments between Hunter and Omega, just like seeing them kind of grow and Hunter becoming more of like a father figure rather than just like a, you know, a soldier, and just all those kind of like the intimate moments between not only those two but all of the members of the Bad Batch. Same with Wrecker and Omega, they kind of all have like softened up a little bit, I guess, and it's really nice to watch. And essentially just anything with Crosshair, I'm a big fan of Crosshair, so those are probably my favourite moments in the show. Now the last question we have here is from Sam, and he says, which characters would you like to see a book based on, and any other ideas for it, so time period, possible side characters and stuff like that. This is going to be kind of an out there one, but I'm going to say Cal Kestis. I absolutely loved Cal, I love Fallen Order, and obviously that does do a pretty decent job at telling the story, but I would love to, you know, and it's pretty much confirmed we're getting another Fallen Order or whatever it's going to be called, so we will no doubt get more Cal Kestis, but I think a book on Cal would be absolutely amazing. I'm not sure what time period, maybe like just after Order 66, like seeing how he escaped from that, and we kind of see that in the game obviously, but those years like just after that where he's on Braca as a scrapper, just like a kind of almost like a boring book about him, just his life on Braca and what, you know, him trying to come to terms with what's happened and him just trying to survive and stuff like that. Those types of books are personally what I like. I like the sort of slower, you know, filling in the gaps on characters that we never really thought about, because we kind of just see him go from, you know, being a Jedi and then Order 66 happens, and then it's like 5 years later when the start of the game happens. So that sort of, you know, couple of years period in there where we don't really know what happens. It'd be interesting to just see how he survived and how he came to terms with what happened and stuff like that. And like even how he shut himself off from the Force, because obviously that's a big part of the game, is trying to like relearn how to use the Force. So yeah, I think that would be a really interesting book. In terms of side characters, obviously you would have Prof. They've obviously been friends for a while, but not really sure who else you would have. I don't think he really had that many other friends. So probably a weird take for a book, to be honest, but yeah, that's something I would definitely love to see. But anyway guys, that is going to do it for another Q&A. Once again, if you guys want to confirm your questions being answered, then please do consider supporting the channel on Patreon. There are a bunch of other awesome little rewards over there as well, and a big shout out to all my current patrons and my channel members. You guys definitely help support the channel more than you know. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to leave a like down below, and if you are new, then consider subscribing to the channel with those notifications on. Thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
Crush them! Make them suffer!